So as you would have seen the message and also seen my video, today's topic is very interesting. We are talking about what we are offering to Krishna, the food which we are offering to Krishna, right? So that is the topic for and we are beginning of Bhakti Vriksha week 20 today. And I hope all of you submitted, you have watched all the sessions and you have also progressed in chanting more number of rounds. So I would like to ask actually in the end of the class, is there any progress? Has anybody progressed from round 1 to round 2 or round 3 to round 4? Have you increased your number of rounds of japa? And so I would like to ask that at the end of the class. And also if you've not filled up any Google form, because now we are consolidating the data and we will be seeing whosoever is doing 4 rounds and who has attended all classes, we will issue you one certificate for that last level. So now we are entering into this new level where we are expecting you to chant 8 rounds, and those who can do again will be issued a next level certificate, right? So again, same rules, regular classes, attendance to be marked in the Google form, and also please try to reach the level of 8 rounds. So we'll discuss this in the last of the class. We'll discuss this. So let's begin with our prayers to Srila Prabhupada. So I offer my respects to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna. O spiritual master, I offer my respects to you. You are servant of your Guru, Saraswati Goswami, and you're kindly preaching the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and delivering the Western countries. Panchatattva mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Savi Gauri Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you for joining. We are starting now our week 20 of Bhakti Vriksha class. We'll begin with our Nectar of Holy Name, why it is so important to chant. So that's yet another new information, or even if it is an old information, it is said that in Bhakti, even if we can repeat, like every Janmashtami, we are repeating the same story. How Krishna was born and what did Krishna do. Every year we repeating the same story. But then it is said anything about Krishna is auspicious. Even if we are repeating hundreds of times, it is auspicious. It's going to bring us more love for Krishna. It will take us closer to Krishna. So that is why even if we are repeating same thing week after week, please don't feel bored, because the more we discuss about Krishna, the more we become purified, and the more we advance in bhakti, and the more we fall in love with Krishna. So it's good to understand every week, even if it is repetition. Don't worry, it's going to purify us, right? So it is said that Krishna's name create a very spiritual atmosphere in the whole world. Like now we are hearing that so many wars are taking place. Recently, one more war has started. Those of you who watch the news or read newspaper, you would have seen that how a new war has started. So if we take Krishna's name, if the entire world take Krishna's name, then this world will become peaceful. It will become like Vaikuntha. So what is Vaikuntha? So Vaikuntha actually is a place where Lord Vishnu lives. And the meaning of Vaikuntha is a place without miseries. So there are no miseries in this place. It is eternally very happy place. So Prahlad Maharaj said once that the living entities who live in this material world are always full of anxiety. Anxiety means always full of worries and always full of tension. Why? Because they suffer from birth, death, old age, and disease. So, is there any home? Is there any place in this world where death does not take place? Is there any family where we don't feel get old? Or is there any person who doesn't become old slowly? Anybody who takes birth grows up, and he or she also falls sick so many times. And slowly, as the age progresses, we become old and finally we die. So these are the miseries. These are the things which gives us anxiety. These are the things which always gives us tension. But here today we understand that if suppose anybody who's chanting Krishna's name, where this Mahamantra is chanted, then that place becomes like Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means there will be no miseries in that place. I'm sure many of you also would have experienced that how slowly, who have been chanting for say a couple of years, how even your inner self, your heart, and even you would have noticed some changes in your family members also. So this is the effect of chanting, my dear friends. That place will slowly become like Vaikuntha, a place where Lord Vishnu lives. What is the speciality of that place? The speciality is that eternally it is a happy place. There is no sorrow. There is no misery. There is because there is no birth and old age and disease and death. Anybody who dies and goes back to Krishna, he is eternally happy. So that is why there is no unhappiness in Vaikuntha. So if you start chanting, then your life, you'll hear while living in this world will become like Vaikuntha. And what is the change we experience? So when we are chanting, we start getting knowledge about Krishna. And as a result, when you start getting knowledge, the person start doing very pious activities. Basically, he becomes a good person, a good human being. And all the material desires stop. What are the material desires? To earn a lot of money and to enjoy only for my happiness and not looking into Krishna's happiness. So these are so many material desires. So when we start chanting, we get knowledge about Krishna, we start doing pious activities, and all our material desires stop. And what is the desire we have? We have the desire that how can I please and serve Krishna, right? And all the negative qualities are slowly removed. And then what will happen? We will have no anxiety, no fear. Like as I said, this material world is full of anxiety. So when we start chanting, we will have no anxiety, we will have no fear. Of course, problems which are there in this material world, all of us have some struggle, all of us have some problems. But slowly you will see that how these anxieties or even the small fear that we have in this world, so all these fears will go away. Why? Because we know that Krishna is taking care of me. Krishna is there in my life all the time. I'm chanting. And when I'm chanting, Krishna personally comes and takes care of me. So when I get that assurance, when I get that guarantee that Krishna is there, then I just don't worry. In fact, once Krishna told Narad Muni, that actually I don't live in Vaikuntha. So this is like, no, Krishna lives in Vaikuntha, but he says, I don't live in Vaikuntha. I don't live in the heart of the yogis, all the, all those very high stages or those gurus. I don't live in their heart. You know where I live? Do you know where? You want to know where I live? I live in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy name and discuss about me, my life, my form, my pastimes, and my qualities. That is the place I'm always living. So isn't that a good news? Isn't it a happy news for all of us that Krishna is actually there? He himself is telling Narad Muni that I don't live in Vaikuntha. I don't live in the hearts of those yogis who are sitting in the jungle and meditating. I live in the place where my devotees are chanting my name. That is why I keep telling you that please join for the japa. Please join for the japa. Because when we are chanting, Krishna is there with us. So Krishna himself is telling Narad Muni that I am always there wherever my names are being chanted, wherever people are discussing about me. Like in this 1 hour of class, we are discussing about Krishna. So Krishna says, I'm there. I'm personally present there. So what more guarantee do we need about Krishna's presence when he himself is telling Narad Muni that I am there when wherever my names are taken, wherever story about me are discussed. I don't live anywhere else. I live there where my devotees are taking my name. So that's such a encouragement for all of us to start chanting more and more. To always remember Krishna because he himself is saying, I'm there. I'm there, right there when where devotees are taking my name. So that's our session on Nectar of Holy Name. And let's start on today's topic of offering food to Krishna. I hope so far it was understood that why it is so important to chant. So I'll quickly share a few slides of what we discussed about Vaikuntha and about Krishna telling Narada Muni. I'll have a look, quickly have a look at the slides. Okay, so let's start our today's topic. So those are the people who are intelligent who become Krishna conscious. Why are they called intelligent? Because we keep stressing all the time, become Krishna conscious, become Krishna conscious. So what do we gain in becoming Krishna conscious? So by becoming Krishna conscious, we can go back to Krishna. So that is the goal of all the devotees. The goal is by chanting, by Krishna's name, by becoming Krishna conscious, my aim is that I don't want to come back in this material world. I want to break the cycle of birth and death. And what will happen? I will go back to Krishna. And what is the advantage of going back to Krishna? Well, that place is permanent. Permanent means it is not a place like this where it is full of so much of anxiety and misery. The place is full of happiness and it is permanent. You don't need to come back again because the life with Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna personally takes care of each and every devotee. Imagine he's taking care of us so much when we are chanting his name. He's personally present. Imagine when we go back where to the place where Krishna lives. So how much will he takes care of us? How much will he love us? So those people are intelligent who become Krishna conscious. So all of you who are sitting here, you're extremely intelligent. You're extremely fortunate because you all are trying to become Krishna conscious. And when we are trying to become Krishna conscious, a day will come when we will go back to Krishna and we will be eternally happy. Now, the process of becoming Krishna conscious is very easy. We have been, attending these classes very regularly and we have been learning all of these concepts. So, as I said, we need to repeat because when we repeat, it shows that how important it is. By repetition means we understand the importance. Like a teacher in school will always keep repeating one topic 3, 4 times. Why? So that the doubt, anything, any question, any doubt that we have in students' mind, it becomes clear. Similarly, in Krishna conscious also, we keep repeating certain topics because we know the more we repeat, the more it is going to become clear to us. So now this process of Krishna conscious actually is very, very easy. It is very simple and does not require any kind of big qualification. So you should not think that, I'm not so qualified. I haven't done any PhD or some degree I don't have. And I'm not even very rich. I'm not very scholarly. So how can I become Krishna conscious? So Prabhupada tells us and the previous acharyas tell us that you actually don't need to become a big time philosopher or a great devotee. It's the process is very, very simple. So what is a simple process? So becoming Krishna conscious. Of course, we are chanting. That is definitely there. The first, of course, is chanting. Where, apart from chanting, there's nothing else. But there is one very important thing which we can do to become Krishna conscious. And that thing is daily offering bhoga to Krishna. Bhoga. So in devotee language, we call food as bhoga. We don't call it as food because when we are cooking, it might be food. But when we have offered it to Krishna, it becomes bhoga, right? And when you pick that bhoga up, when you take it back and Krishna is eaten, it is called prasad. So that is the difference. So before offering, it is bhoga. After offering, it is called prasad. Is that clear? So now what does Krishna say about this offering? What does Krishna want? So with the simplest method, one can make his life perfect. And that method is offering food to Krishna or bhoga to Krishna. And what is it Krishna requires? He has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I need a leaf, I need little water or fruit. A leaf, water, fruit, or as in any other food item. So this is the only thing which Krishna requires. So when we're talking about leaf, so what is this leaf? Anybody can guess?
Tulsi Mataji, Asha Mataji, lot of
Yeah,
them are saying.
yeah. So this is what Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, that these are the only things I need. And by offering these things, you all can become perfect. Now, the only thing which Krishna wants is loving service. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. So if like, if you go to market and you buy some puri sabzi and you come back home and offer it to Krishna, that is not acceptable. Because why it is so important is to cook at home is because when while you're cooking, you're thinking of Krishna. But when whosoever is cooking outside, who's in a hotel or in a restaurant, they are not thinking about Krishna. Maybe their hands are also not clean. The kind of food they are preparing, maybe that is also not clean. And they are thinking about so many other things. So that is why it is, very important that we cook at home and we offer food to Krishna. And Krishna does not want very, what do you say, very lavish or very rich, very elaborate food items. He just wants very, very simple offerings. See, if you can cook very heavy, rich items, very good. That is also good. But if you can't, if you want to cook simple, that is also fine. Because the main thing which Krishna is looking for, he is looking for your love and your devotion. Even if even if you give 100 items to Krishna, and without love, Krishna will not accept it. So the main thing, my dear friend, is in whatever you're offering, is your love and your devotion to Krishna. So we will discuss about this offering more in detail, and we'll come back to this topic. So now, we must understand that Krishna is self-sufficient. See, Krishna is actually Lord of the universe. Whatever we are seeing in this world, whether it is water, it is, the sunshine, the moonlight, the stars, or the food that we are eating, the building material, anything you name, a smallest and smallest of atom, it belongs to Krishna. Now, for such a person, what is the need for food? Isn't it? So I'll give you an example. Suppose you have a very rich friend. Now that rich friend has invited you to some party in his house. So you are thinking, what gift should I take? Don't you think it's such a difficult question? Because that person already has everything. What can you give that person? So what will you do? Okay, let me just take flowers. Because everything that rich person will have, everything that rich friend will have, whether it is clothes, whether it is sweets, or anything, jewelry, if it's a girl or men, maybe hundreds of shoes and hundreds of dresses, cars. You cannot give anything to such a person. So what do? Okay, I will just take some flowers. Isn't it true? Similarly, my dear friends, when it comes to Krishna, Krishna is the Lord of the world. Krishna is the Lord of the universe. What can we give him? He doesn't need anything from us. He doesn't even need our food, right? But still, he accepts the offering from his devotees. So why does he do that? So he does it so that we can get love and affection, number one. In return of our food, in return of our bhoga, Krishna gives us love and affection. And number two, most important, he gives us an opportunity to serve him. So these are the two things why Krishna accepts. He doesn't need anything from us, but still, because he is so such a loving father, he said, okay, my dear children, I take your food, and in return, I give you an opportunity that you can serve me. I give you my love and affection. Now, even if someone is a very high qualified Brahman or some scholar or some rich man, he cannot convince Krishna to accept anything. Why? Because there is no love there. The love element is missing in the people who don't believe in Krishna. So, in our offering, whatever food we offer to Krishna, the only thing Krishna sees is our love and devotion. So, mark it, my dear friends. You please, try to remember it very, very strongly in your mind. Try to think about it when even after the class is over. The only two things which Krishna needs from us is love and devotion. If it is there, he will accept your food, he will accept it. Otherwise, there is no use in offering it. Because Krishna does not accept anything which is without love and devotion. So, as we know that Krishna, we've always been learning that Krishna is like a root of a tree. So, another reason why we are offering fruit to Krishna, because in that way we need not satisfy all the devatas. Like, so many festivals are coming. Like, right, previously Ganesh Chaturthi went, and after this, now currently Navratra is starting. So you don't really need to be confused about that, we have to worship each and every Devi Devta. Because Krishna himself says that I am the cause of everything, I am the root. So if you want to give anything, you give it to Krishna, because from Krishna, all the devatas, even the forefathers are very, very happily and they are very satisfied. In fact, just now, this month went where, these 15 days they've given puja for our forefathers just before Navratra, those 15 days go. And in those 15 days also it is said that if you chant the holy name, even if your forefathers are suffering in hell, they will also be delivered. They will also be happy, and they will also move from hell to heaven. So that powerful is Krishna's name. If you want to, donate any charity during those months, you can simply offer it to Krishna and then give it to somebody else. So what I mean to say is Krishna is the root. So if you're offering food to him, then automatically all the Devi Devtas, all the demigods, all the forefathers are automatically satisfied. So if we want to be purified, if we want to serve him, right? So if you want to be purified, you want to serve him, if you want to go back to him, then we must know how to please him, isn't it? For example, there is a boy and a girl, and they've recently started liking each other, and they want to develop that relationship. Boy also wants to start, you know, increase his relationship with the girl, and even the girl is liking the girl. So, how does one progress in that relationship? So, the easy way is you try to find out what does the girl likes. Similarly, the girl will also find out what does the boy likes, what kind of color he likes, what kind of perfume he likes, what kind of flower she likes, what kind of food that girl likes. Similarly, the girl also, what kind of shoes or the car or the bike that person likes, what is his hobbies, isn't it? In any relationship, don't you think we try to find out the likes and dislikes of the other person? Similarly, even our relationship with Krishna, in order to understand him, if you want to be purified, if you want to serve him, if you want to go back to him, then you have to know what is his likes and what are his dislikes. Because if you love him, then you will give him what he likes, right? So if Krishna is not liking certain things, do you think you would like to give that to him? So my husband does not like, say, karele ki sabzi. Do you think you will daily cook that for him and there'll be fight in the house? So similarly, you will try to cook like for your children. Your son is living in the hostel and your son is visiting you. Don't you think you try to please your son by cooking what he likes? Similarly, with Krishna also, we would like to offer him what he likes. So we can't offer any and everything to Krishna. So this topic of what to offer, how to offer, it's a big subject matter which we will be discussing in our next class. So one thing which is very important to understand is that everything has to be done in with love and devotion. And second thing is there are many people in this world who think that Krishna doesn't move. How is he eating? Have you seen Krishna, or for that matter, have you seen any god eating? So when I'm talking about here Krishna, it is said that Krishna also, number one, Krishna does not have a body like our body. Like, you can touch and feel this body. We have this gross body, right? So Krishna also has hands and eyes and ears and mouth, everything Krishna has, but his body is spiritual body. Like how we have a soul, it is not visible, right? So similarly, Krishna's body is also fully spiritual. It is not like our material body. That is why there is no death. There is no death for Krishna. Krishna is eternal. Like how our soul is eternal, Krishna is also eternal because he does not have a gross body. Now, the very important thing is that Krishna's senses are interchangeable. So, I'll give you an example. For example, how do we eat? How do we eat our food? With your hands, right? Now, Krishna's senses can do any work with any sense. Like if you are keeping food in front of him, so if you are keeping food in front of him, he can eat, he can taste food with his eyes, right? Similarly, he does not need legs to walk. Any of his sense, any of his touch or his mouth or his eyes, ears, anything can do the job of other things. He does not need legs. He does not need hands. He's perfect actually. He's perfect. Like we can only use our eyes to see. We can use our ears to hear. Only one activity. But Krishna's one sense can do multiple activities. His hands can do multiple activities. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So his senses can do multiple activities. But this concept actually cannot be understood by a person who's not a devotee of Krishna. Only a person who believes in the supremacy or the potency or the power of Krishna can understand that yes, this is possible. Krishna's energies, Krishna's power is so unique that just by looking at this material world, he can create the entire material world. Can you imagine that? Just by looking. How does this creation takes place? How does this universe is formed? One day Krishna opens his eyes, he looks at the material world, and the entire universe is created. Everything is created. So that is the power we are talking about, Krishna. So when it comes to food also, my dear friends, you just have to keep your food in the temple and Krishna will eat it. He will taste the entire food. His hands also will not get dirty because he would have tasted his food with his eyes. He can taste it with his hands. He can taste it with his legs. Any any sense can do the job of any other sense. They're totally interchangeable. Like we have multi-purpose plugs in the house. We have multi-purpose. So, we can take out the plug from here and use it in some other place. Similarly, this is a very, mundane example, very boring example. But then Krishna can do anything, absolutely anything with any of his senses. So this is the concept which only a devotee who is full of love for Krishna, who understands Krishna, who knows that he is the Supreme Lord, can understand all these things. But a person who's not a devotee, who's a non-devotee, will not be able to understand things. So in the next class, we will be understanding the process. So in the next class, we'll be understanding the entire process of what to offer to Krishna and what is the correct method to offer. What are the small details which all of you should know in offering food to Krishna? Because one class won't be sufficient. So I have divided it into two classes. So we will cover this next topic of what is the correct method of offering food to Krishna, so that all of you become perfect in offering food and thereby perfect your lives. Right? So thank you so much. We will end the session today here. And if Saurabh wants, he can take a break. We can do some chanting and we'll come back with the question answers. Yes, we can take the questions.
Hare Krishna. So Nandini Mataji, I think missed.
The story session where she signed a story, I think.
All right. So she has YouTube videos, which yeah, she didn't have phone, but yeah, she could see it now on YouTube. So she will see them again on YouTube.
Sure, sure.
She still
Thank you.
hasn't seen the all of it, but she will see it.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namaskar Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. Hmm. So you talked about the war now, Mataji.
All right.
So I was just wondering, the time before, how we chronologize the chronology of time, ACBC and all of that, and even before that, even the starting of religion per se. So, just wanted to understand which was the first religion, Mataji. Where was it
Sorry.
the Jewish religion which came first, or it was Hindu
The
religion, or
first religion was Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma, actually, it is beyond Hinduism. Sanatan Dharma is a religion where people were divided into four categories. They were either Brahmanas, second were Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas were the warriors, the fighters, the kings. The third is the Vaishyas. Vaishyas means the people who would take care of the business and the farming and the cattle. So that was the third category. And fourth category are the Shudras. Shudras are the lower class, who are the laborers class. So when we are talking about religion, actually, Sanatan Dharma is the oldest religion. So, and people were divided according to the these varnas. Varnas means according to Brahman, Kshatriya, Shudras. That is how people were divided. But yes, if you want to put it like that, then Hinduism is the oldest religion.
So, Mataji, archaeology and all of that, when you see, there have been found different kind of things have been found, but it's difficult to understand, right?
What is
What came
difficult to
first?
understand? Sorry, what came first? See, a simple thing when we're talking about religion, no. What does Jesus Christ say? What does Jesus Christ say? Jesus Christ will say that I am the Son of God. If you ever seen Christians, if you ever seen read Bible, in Bible, Jesus Christ will say, I am Son of God. He will never say, I am God. He will say, I am Son of God. Right? And then we're talking about Muslims. What will Muslims say? Muslims in the Allah will say, I am messenger of God.
You mean the prophet, Mataji,
The
correct?
prophet, yes, the prophet. So they will always say, I'm messenger of God. Right? So none
Mataji,
of
can we
them,
type these things?
yeah, I'll type it. I'll type it.
I'm typing the first one, yeah.
No, you've typed it. Okay. So none of them will say that I am God, which means Islam and Christianity both are not as old as Hinduism. Now, when it comes to Hinduism, if you pick up Bhagavad Gita, the chapters in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that millions and millions of years ago, Krishna told this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita much before even Arjun. So Arjun came 5,000 years ago. But millions of years ago, Krishna gave this knowledge to the god, sun god. And we're not talking about hundreds or, we are talking about millions of years. So now, then who is who you can understand yourself, which is religions. That is why we say Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Millions of years ago. So I hope that answers your question.
I'm sorry, she was asking more questions about more people in India, less now becoming so, but I just said that there are more
Yeah,
hands.
but her
Is the
doubt is clear,
Christian.
right?
Hmm. So she's talking about the Israel and the Palestine war and all of that, Mataji. So her thoughts are, a little coming from there, that they were Christians were first, or Muslim people, they war and they want to finish something, something.
Yeah,
But
so I've
first there
already
was,
mentioned that how prophet says that he's messenger and Jesus says he's son. So they're not as old as Hinduism.
sorry, Mataji, just to interpret better, how does this, because you're saying that they are saying that we are that person's messenger, that is why Hinduism is older, or Hindu, how is that? Just to interpret, I want to understand it
Oh, but
clearly.
see, the point is that if somebody is saying that I'm son of God, that
Hmm.
means God is somebody else. God is existing. If you're son, son always comes later, right? Father will come before and son will come later on only, no? So Jesus is son means Jesus came later on.
Yes, 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 Mataji.
You can take the next question.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji. So, so like you said that if you praying, so like Hemant,
Hemant. Yeah, no, no. Hemant Vignesh. I think Hemant, yes.
Hemant. Okay. So he said that, Mataji, that, so he was saying that, like you said, that if you worship Krishna, all other gods are happy. Similarly, if you worship Jesus or Allah, if you, if they are they also happy?
Yes, definitely. So if you look at West, actually, the scriptures do not provide a very convincing answers. Bible or the Quran, they do not provide very convincing answers to many of our questions. Like we have so many questions. Like a human being has so many questions. But if you pick up Bhagavad Gita, all the questions are answered. So that is why you see through ISKCON only that so many Christians, so many Muslims have got converted into Hindus. They're not, I should say converted Hindus, but they have become Krishna conscious because they have also realized. In fact, it's a very common known topic even in ISKCON that many devotees abroad out of India, they were in search of so many answers about these self, about these soul and body and God, but in Bible they could not find, you know very convincing answers. So that is why many people took to Krishna consciousness, because here in Bhagavad Gita we get absolute all answers to our questions. So if you are, even if that is why in West, so many Christians are now, dancing on the street. If you would have seen the videos of ISKCON people, so many, they all are Christians only. They used to go to the church, and now they are so convinced about the Krishna being the Supreme Lord. We are not forcing people to convert. Like in other religions, people force you to convert, become Muslim or become Christian. But here, Prabhupada has strictly said, we are not going to convert. We are going to tell you about true knowledge about who God is. And if you are convinced, you can start chanting. We don't tell you that you leave your God. Even taking Prophet's name or Jesus' name is also authentic name. There is nothing wrong in taking their name. But look at the aim. If the aim is love for God, then it is correct. We are preaching is loving God, selfless service we are teaching. You love Krishna without personal motive. Then it is, any religion is good. Even Christians also, if they teach that yes, the only objective is love Jesus, then it is fine. Then also you can make your life perfect. But on the name of Jesus, if you're killing animals and eating, in the name of prophet, if you're killing animals and eating, then where is the love for God? Right? I hope to some extent I've answered your question.
Yes.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes, yes, yes. Hare Krishna Mataji. Namaskar. Pranam. So, neem beads. I was doing japa on my neem beads, but hmm, in Christians or any other religion, hmm, 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 all the different religions, if I just chant on neem, I'm just doing my beads, the effects, positive effects, just by me chanting, does it go, these effects go on to the different religious communities?
I don't understand the question, Sarah.
Christian community, Sikh community, Muslim community. Hmm, hmm. One God. And
Uma can explain the question, I think.
hmm, if you're doing Hare Krishna, if you're chanting, so uh, so hmm, so in the in the ISKCON community, hmm, so what Sanjay Prabhu is saying that, for example, in the ISKCON community, we focus on chanting, 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 all the positive goes on, right, to the
Right.
world. But then in the Christian community, I mean, in the Christian community or the Sikh community, do they have chanting too? Same
Of
chanting, and
course,
then
yeah. Everybody, the importance of name is so important,
do
even
they
in
use
Muslim.
neem? Because in Hindus we use neem
Okay,
beads.
okay.
Christian community or the Muslim communities and all the Sikh community, they also have. Uh, so all of them are chanting, right? So all of them
Right.
are chanting the same God, is it?
Of course, that is what I'm saying. The purity of purpose, if it is there, if it is not selfish motive, then you can,
One minute, Mataji.
you
Just
can
need
make your
to
life.
clarify the question. Danyada Mataji is there. So, ISKCON community chanting on neem. Are they the same or they chanting different, different? Okay, Mataji, sorry.
Mm.
The question which I think is I asked is that is everyone using the same kind of japa means? Is everyone using neem? or they are using different kind of beads.
I have no idea what what beads they use. I have no clue. Maybe some wooden bead they're using, but I don't have knowledge about what Christians are using, what material. In ISKCON, we either use neem or we use tulsi. So two kind of beads we use. Tulsi we use only after Diksha, and before Diksha we use neem.
So Sanjay Prabhu is saying maybe Mataji can ask from your peers and all these people, no?
What difference will it make?
I would just learn, no, Mataji.
Okay, I'll ask. I'll ask. My Christian
Okay.
friends, I'll ask. Christian Muslim friends, I'll ask. No, she doesn't have a question. She's put her hand down.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji. So, hmm. So like we were saying, like when we are chanting about Krishna, we are talking about Krishna, Krishna is there with us. But if the verbal aspect of it, no, it's not there, or the association part, but doing it alone, painting or drawing or making something for Krishna, does Krishna also come and see us that time?
Yeah, yeah. Why I'm not saying chanting only, service. It's a service, right? You're doing service to Krishna. Who knows? He would be sitting next to you and seeing how nicely you're painting. We are not so pure to see him, but even when you're serving, Krishna is so happy that you're,
So, but that time we are not
doing.
talking about it, no, Mataji? Like
That's
you had
okay.
mentioned that when we are chanting about Krishna or we are talking about Krishna,
So many classes I'm talking about service, service, service. I have been talking non-stop. I've been talking about service. It's a service only. Today's class was more focused on, see, when we are talking about, when the initial topic is nectar of holy name, we are talking about japa, we are talking about chanting. So that topic is only about chanting. But I have never said that when service, Krishna doesn't come. I've always been saying service is very powerful weapon to get close to Krishna. But that topic was only regarding power or nectar of holy name. That's why we're discussing only about names, chanting. Last question will take Anshuman or whatever.
Pranam, Hare Krishna Mataji. So I really agree with what you shared with us. Sorry, Saurav. Hmm. Saurav is interpreting from Mataji's tech. I mean, whatever he's teaching. Does Saurav connect with Krishna? That's your
So that's a
question.
personal question. We don't get into that question with Saurav. So it's a very personal question. Let's not discuss that. We focus only on our bhakti we focus on. Let's focus on what you are doing, right? Don't mind, huh? We don't openly ask such questions.
Okay, Mataji, sorry. Yeah.
No, no, it's
So,
okay.
mm,
Yeah, we'll finish.
Krishna service, for example, Sunday, what I did first time was offered boga. I offered dosa and idli to Krishna, and I felt as if I was a little scared, because when I offered the bhoga and kept the plate, and when I looked up, there was this weird smile on the Lord's face. It got me scared, but inside it made me feel very, very happy. And yeah, after that, my day went
Actually,
by.
sometimes we do feel like that, but as a devotee, we should not. We'll discuss in the next class. We should not be looking at while Lord is eating food. That is number one. And second is sometimes these things in our mind, and while thinking that Lord was smiling, or sometimes we develop pride also, thinking that, I'm a very big, very, very advanced devotee. So when we think like that, sometimes we develop some level of pride in us. So we should try to not think like that. Yes, we do feel sometimes, many people feel that God is trying to communicate with me and he's smiling and and Lord definitely gives knowledge from within the heart. A lot of times we get certain ideas, we get knowledge which were not there. So all that knowledge actually is given by Krishna himself because he's sitting inside our heart as Paramatma. So all that knowledge comes from him only. But uh, it's very dangerous to think that Krishna was smiling or Krishna was personally present because we're not so pure as yet. Number one. And if by chance we speak like that, we might develop some level of pride in us, which we try to avoid. So sometimes we do feel that, yes, I saw God or I saw a smile on his face and it makes us happy. Yes. But so try to keep it to yourself because we don't want any kind of unnecessary pride developing in us. Anyways, we are fighting with our, um, you know, small shortcomings that we have, negative points that we have. So let's not add this pride thing in that. And then you can keep it yourself. Yeah. It's good. It's nice, but then sometimes it might land into feeling proud about it. So we try to avoid, the devotees try to avoid discussing those things. Thank you so much. And the next two questions we can take it in next class because the topic is same. We are going to continue, and so we can repeat the question like Yananda Date and Prakhar question are there. So we can take it in the next class. Please try to remember your questions because we are going to continue this topic in the next class also. And I forgot to ask you how many of you have increased your number of rounds. So that also probably, I'll have to ask in the next class only. So that in the beginning of the class only, I'll ask what is your increase in chanting. So it will give me a motivation to send you Google Sheet in there for the next module also. Thank you, Saurav. We'll close the class. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Prakhar is raising his hand, but sorry, it's
No,
5:15.
no, he raised it quite late, Saurav. His hand was not there initially. I don't think his hand was there initially. So it's already going to be 5:15. Next class, he can ask his question. We can take his question first next time. Thank you, Saurav. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.